Men must be governed by God or they will be ruled by tyrants. Right is right, even if everyone is against it, and wrong is wrong, even if everyone is for it. Time is what we want most, but what we use worst. Humility and knowledge in poor clothes excel pride and ignorance in costly attire. Patience and diligence, like faith, remove mountains. Let the people think they govern and they will be governed. In marriage do thou be wise, prefer the person before money, virtue before beauty, the mind before the body, then thou hast a wife, a friend, a companion, a second self. True godliness does not turn men out of the world but enables them to live better in it and excites their endeavors to mend it. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. Knowledge is the treasure of a wise man. He that does good for good's sake seeks neither paradise nor reward, but he is sure of both in the end. If thou wouldst conquer thy weakness, thou must never gratify it. Speak properly, and in as few words as you can, but always plainly, for the end of speech is not ostentation, but to be understood. Some are so very studious of learning what was done by the ancients that they know not how to live with the moderns. Men are generally more careful of the breed of their horses and dogs than of their children. He that lives to live forever never fears dying. Less judgment than wit is more sail than ballast. It would be far better to be of no church than to be bitter of any. Sense shines with a double luster when it is set in humility. An able yet humble man is a jewel worth a kingdom. Much reading is an oppression of the mind and extinguishes the natural candle, which is the reason for so many senseless scholars in the world. They have a right to censure that have a heart to help. Force may make hypocrites, but it can never make converts. O Lord, help me not to despise or oppose what I do not understand. Kings in this world should imitate God, their mercy should be above their works. Love grows. Lust wastes by enjoyment, and the reason is, that one springs from a union of souls, and the other from a union of senses. The jealous are troublesome to others, but a torment to themselves. For death is no more than a turning of us over from time to eternity. Rarely promise, but, if lawful, constantly perform. Only trust thyself, and another shall not betray thee. The tallest trees are most in the power of the winds, and ambitious men of the blasts of fortune. Passion is the mob of the man, that commits a riot upon his reason. Force may subdue, but love gains, and he that forgives first wins the laurel. Truth often suffers more from the heat of its defenders than the arguments of its opposers. He who is taught to live upon little owes more to his father's wisdom than he who has a great deal left him does to his father's care. Between a man and his wife nothing ought to rule but love. Authority is for children and servants, yet not without sweetness. We are apt to love praise, but not deserve it. But if we would deserve it, we must love virtue more than that. Love is the hardest lesson in Christianity, but, for that reason, it should be most our care to learn it. A good end cannot sanctify evil means, nor must we ever do evil, that good may come of it. Nothing does reason more right, than the coolness of those that offer it, for truth often suffers more by the heat of its defenders, than from the arguments of its opposers. To be like Christ is to be a Christian. To be a man's own fool is bad enough, but the vain man is everybody's. If you like the quotes, press like and share them with your peers on the social platform, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel.